So if you've ever wondered or said to yourself, you know what, my life is just not what I thought it would be, you've come to the right place. You know, you look at your life and you probably say, you know, this just isn't where I thought I would be, or this just isn't where I want to be, or why didn't my life turn out like this? So in this video, we're going to talk about why. Why didn't my life turn out the way it did? What can you do about it now if you're feeling this way and you're just feeling disappointed in what life is going? And examples of how you can pop out of this funk and make yourself feel good about your life again.
I think a lot of us really, if we just, you know, you have that old school, I guess, kind of thought process where you're like, I go to college and then I get married and then I have 2 kids and, you know, get a job, whatever.
So let's talk about why, the big why. Well, I think there's 4 whys. Okay. And then we can kind of elaborate on this. Okay. One, there are things that I think that are in your control and you make a really bad decision, a life-changing decision. And I would encourage you, if you're at this point, you know, maybe kind of journal, take a look at your life and say, well, you know, I did make that decision which influenced this part of my life, right, and this influenced this part of my life, either negatively or positively. Yeah. Right? Right. The other point is there are things that just are out of your control, like, right, you know, you fall off a boat, it wasn't your fault, right, you hit a rock and you're paralyzed, or you're in a car crash, it wasn't your fault, and it changed this huge shift in your life. There are things that are not even in your control that happen in your life that change the projection of your life.
It's like that split second, your life is not what you thought it was going to be.
The other point that I had is there are things that are just environmental, I guess I would call them. I mean, the government, there's a poor leader in the government and he raises the price on gas and food and everything's just more expensive. Interest rate goes up. You know, because of that, you know, now, you know, you and your husband have to go get a job, and that's right, not what you want for your life. Right. There would be other environmental issues like, you know, an earthquake or a tornado or right, some natural disaster that right, throws your life in a different direction.
Just things you can't control.
Yeah. And the last point, and I think it's almost the most important. I don't know. What do you think? Anyways, so it's God's plan. You know, God has a plan for your life. And he wants you to go in this direction. He really wants you to go. And you're resistant. You know, you just don't want to do that. You go off on this path. And things just don't work out on this path.
As well.
I mean, yes, you're right. They'll work out. Yeah. But it's just like maybe every time you go this way, you're hitting a door, you're hitting a wall. Yeah. Maybe it's God's just going,
I want you back over here. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. It tells us in Proverbs that, you know, we plan our steps.
Right.
That God plans our path.
Right.
And if we're resistant to seeking him out in our life, every aspect of our life, then are we resisting his path? You know, are we putting it? Are we not allowing him to bless us as much as he wants to? You know. Right.
So number 2, what do? You know, how would you say that? Focus on the path.
Well, I think we need to remember that we need to seek God in everything that we do. Right. Allow him. We need to trust him that he's going to take care of us because he loves us and he's got a perfect path for us where we will be immensely blessed. Yeah.
Well, what you said just made me think of another something is that prayer. Of course, pray to God. You should be in prayer. But I would pray and tell God, you know, my life just seems empty. I don't have purpose. This isn't what I want for my life. Yeah. And then I would pray every single day, Lord, show me what you want me to do. And I said this several times back in my prayer life. I will do anything what you want me to do.
Yeah.
I mean, don't say, well, God, please show me what to do, but I can't work on the weekends, and I don't want to work at nights, and I don't want to go to Africa, and I don't want to talk about you. I mean, you're giving him too many parameters.
You say,
yeah. It's like, Lord, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Show me what you want me to do.
Yeah.
I am open.
Be ready.
Be ready.
It's gonna happen.
Because he could show you and you're like, whoa, this is a lot, Lord. It's like, yep,
but
this is what I want you to do.
If you allow him to do it, man, hang on, because it'll be all right.
It'll be a great ride.
It'll be amazing.
It'll be a great ride. Mm-hmm. Another thing you do is trust God.
Yeah.
Trust that he loves you. He has a plan for you. And he knows that you're unhappy.
Yeah.
And he knows you're frustrated. And just to say, okay, Lord, I don't like where I am. I'm not happy, but I do trust you.
Bringing that back to us and losing our son. But what do? Do I sit there and say, oh, great, now my life is over?
Right.
Or do I seek God in prayer, trust him that he's going to move me along and everything's going to be fine and I'm going to see him again in heaven?
The closer you are to God, the easier it is. I mean, everything's just easier. I mean, if you're in your Bible, reading every day, you're praying every day, and this is called being in relationship with God, right? If you're in a deep relationship with God, which I would encourage you guys to do, you'll have more joy in your life. You'll be okay where you are.
Yeah. It doesn't make the pain and the sorrow go away.
Frustration.
And just disappear.
Right.
But you have somebody that will give you the strength to endure.
Yeah. Another note we had is if it gets really bad and you guys are really just like, seek counsel, go to a Christian counselor and tell them.
Yeah.
And just
have
someone walk. And this is what's, I think, so wrong about our culture today is we're not relational. Everybody's on social media. They go live, and those aren't friends. Those aren't real friends. We spend all of our trying to impress people that we don't know and will never meet. Yeah. You guys need to be in relationship with people. You need to go out to coffee with people. You need to be in church with people. You need that human contact, that you can go to your wife or you can go to your best friend and say, hey, dude, man, this is happening. I don't know what to do.
Right.
And then he would give you solid counsel, and there's something about just unloading to somebody,
and that's biblical.
Yeah,
I mean, God tells us to seek counsel, to walk through this with us,
but we don't do that anymore because social media has destroyed that.
Yeah. Jim wants me to say this.
I'm a blabbermouth sometimes, so blah, blah.
But this was one of my points, is when I was talking to God about this. Of course it is. Because God and I were talking about it. Wow. Of course it's good. Wow. Anyways, today, and I always try to do this every day of my life, is today is the first day of the rest of your life. Yeah. So if there's something, and I read this story, it was so cute. It was this lady that always wanted to be a nurse. And she raised her kids and went in her marriage and and she just never became a nurse. But she turned 62 years old, and decides she wants to be a nurse. So she did.
Good for her. Good for her.
It's never too late.
Yes.
I believe that, God will bless you no matter what. So take the time. Take today. Today's it. Fresh start. Let's go. Chop, chop. God woke you up. Let's do it.
Wow. I'm enthused. I'm going to go out and I'm going to run for president today.
I'd vote for you.
Thank you, Darlie. That's so nice. Well, I've got one vote.
All right, you guys, thanks for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed this. Comment below if you have something to say to him or me. And we will see you in the next video.